All right, welcome everyone to the Deep Dive, brought to you, as always, by Defiant, your on-chain lifestyle sports brand.
That's right.
And we are going deep this week, folks. We're looking at everything from potential economic shakeups, major moves in the crypto markets.
Some legal mysteries around Bitcoin itself.
Some would say the booming world of Web3 gaming.
It's a good one this week.
And, of course, wrapping it all up.
Of course.
With the edge of your seat finishes in college basketball.
Can't forget March Madness.
Oh, man.
Some upsets, some favorites coming through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I find so fascinating, and we see this week after week, is how these seemingly completely separate worlds are actually
totally
super interconnected. We've got financial stability, tech innovation, and just passionate communities.
Passionate communities, absolutely.
All kind of tied together.
Yeah. So let's start with maybe zooming out a little bit, looking at the big picture economics, and maybe, no better person to sound the alarm than, Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan.
Big name, big bank.
Right. And he's saying things like sharper than expected inflation. He's talking about, a possible recession.
Yeah.
And he uses this really stark language. He says, unusual and extraordinary stress.
Wow.
Now, I think for some folks who are really deep in the crypto space, they might be like, well, why should I care what some traditional finance guy has to say?
Yeah, that's a good point.
What do you think about that?
It's interesting because, JP Morgan, while they are a giant in traditional finance, they've also dipped their toes pretty significantly in the crypto world. So when Dimon starts waving those red flags, but instability, debt levels, central banks, this isn't just some theoretical textbook, economics problem.
Right.
It's really going to directly impact market sentiment, how much money's flowing around.
Liquidity,
Liquidity, exactly. And so when a player as big as JP Morgan starts getting nervous, that means potentially tighter financial conditions for everyone, that can mean even more volatility in the crypto markets.
Right.
So it's a signal to watch, I think, across the board, not just in crypto.
Right. I think it's like one of those things that people, they see those headlines and they're like, well, that's got nothing to do with me. But
it all connects.
It all connects. And speaking of volatility, we've seen a ton of it.
Oh, yeah.
The total crypto market cap down 30%.
Wow.
That is a huge drop.
That's substantial.
What's going on?
Well, it's like always, there's a lot of factors at play. But one that analysts are pointing to is former President Trump and his new tariff strategy. Have you heard of these Liberation Day tariffs?
I have.
Okay, so these aren't just some isolated trade policy. These actually create a ton of uncertainty. And that can lead to something called capital flight. And this is basically investors who are like, oh, things are getting a little rocky, especially with global trade. They pull their money out of riskier assets. And, let's be honest, a good chunk of the crypto market still is considered, high risk.
Higher risk than than maybe some of the more established.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that 30% drop, what it's telling us is the story that, Bitcoin is uncorrelated, that it's like a safe haven.
Yeah.
It's being challenged.
It's being challenged. That's a good way to put it. It's almost like when it's good, it's like, oh, it's separate.
It's its own thing. Yeah.
But when things get...
It's all connected.
It's all connected. Right. So it's just a really, crucial reminder that what happens in, Washington, what happens in global trade agreements, it can have an immediate real world impact on your crypto.
On your crypto. Yeah. If we think about it in the context of Dimon's warnings, we can kind of see this potential, this loop, this cycle.
Yeah.
Where you've got economic anxieties fueled by inflation, maybe recession fears.
Right.
And then you add in, trade policy uncertainty.
Right.
And it creates this environment where everyone's like, oh, risk, get me out of here.
Yeah, risk off. Yeah.
And that can impact everything from, the stock market all the way to digital assets. It's a reminder to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah. Absolutely. So far we've talked about kind of big picture economics. We've talked about the markets.
Yeah.
Let's move into something
a little juicier,
a little more mysterious, a little, there's this lawsuit brewing.
Oh, yeah.
And it involves a crypto attorney.
Okay.
And the Department of Homeland Security.
Wow.
And the goal is
dun.
to uncover the true identity.
Big reveal.
of Bitcoin's creator,
Satoshi
Nakamoto.
the OG.
This has been a question.
Forever.
Since day one.
Yeah. Since the white paper.
It's like the biggest mystery.
It's like, yeah, who is this person?
In crypto. Now, this lawsuit, it's going about it from a kind of a different angle, right? They're using the Freedom of Information Act.
Interesting.
And they're basically saying, hey, the U.S. government...
They know something.
Might know something.
They probably know.
About Satoshi's identity. And that information could be
huge,
important.
Yeah.
Legally, financially, geopolitically, right?
All of the above.
Like, imagine if...
Imagine they do know.
They know, and imagine the implications for regulation.
Oh, my God.
For just the power dynamic.
And influence.
Yeah.
Someone could have that information.
Absolutely. And especially with Bitcoin, becoming...
more mainstream.
More and more important.
Yeah.
I think the question is, why now?
Right.
Why is this coming to light now?
Yeah, good question.
It's almost like...
Is it just a matter of time?
It's like that anonymity that was once kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool.
It's part of the mystique.
It's part of the mystique.
Yeah.
Now it's like a liability.
It's a question mark. Like, what's going on?
What do you think the consequences could be, like, for our listeners out there?
Yeah.
If Satoshi's identity were to be revealed?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
If Satoshi's identity were to become public,
yeah,
I mean, it could really change things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if they still have control of their, they have a lot of Bitcoin from the early days.
Yeah.
What if they start doing stuff with it? What if governments start trying to use that?
To manipulate things, yeah.
To manipulate things. I mean, it could challenge the whole idea of decentralization.
Yeah.
The very thing Bitcoin was built on. It could mean more regulation.
Right.
It could mean wild market swings.
Right.
It could change how the public sees Bitcoin entirely.
Yeah. It's really fascinating. Let's move from the mystery of Bitcoin to something that's a little bit more upbeat, I think. We've been seeing, and we've talked about this on the show before, this continued growth in Web3 gaming.
Yeah, for sure.
And one of the platforms that's been doing really well is the Ronin network.
Ronin.
And, they've been showing some really impressive user engagement. Like, over the last 90 days, 4 out of their top 5 contracts by active users are games.
That's amazing.
That's some big chunk of their activity.
It really does.
Yeah. Like, over 1 million active wallets with Pixels Online, 500,000 with Axie Infinity.
Huge names.
Hundreds of thousands on other titles, and this is just in the last 90 days.
It's wild.
Over 60,000 new contracts deployed on Ronin this year alone.
I mean, that's not just people, messing around with tokens.
Right.
That's people actually using the blockchain to play games.
This is like real world adoption.
That's real world stuff.
Like, it's not just theoretical anymore. Yeah. And I think for anyone listening, this is beyond just, oh, that's cool, games are being played.
Right.
This is blockchain doing something useful.
It's utility, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just about the finance side of things.
Right.
It's showing that it can be a platform for stuff that people actually want to use.
Yeah, and I think, you look at that chart we've got.
Oh, yeah.
That bar chart of Ronin's top contracts.
It's clear.
Pixels and Axie.
Way off, right?
Dominating.
Yeah.
Compared to these other applications, like decentralized exchanges.
Absolutely. People are coming for the games.
It's the games.
Yeah.
It's the games that are driving this.
It's exciting. I mean, for you, for anyone listening, this could be a chance to get involved in these digital economies through games, to actually own stuff in a way that, means something.
Yeah.
And to be part of these communities that are built around these amazing experiences.
Yeah. Ronin seems to be figuring something out.
They're doing something right.
For sure. And it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
Now let's move from the digital world to...
back to reality.
The real world, to sports.
Yes.
To the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. We had it was
close.
Exciting finish. The Florida Gators.
Oh, Gators.
They defeated the Houston Cougars 65-63.
Nail biter.
And this was...
big moment for Florida.
Huge moment for Florida. Their 3rd national championship.
Yeah.
And their 1st since 2007. So for those Gators fans out there...
it's been a while.
It's been a while. Time to celebrate.
Absolutely. It's a testament to all their hard work, and the whole team, the university.
And it's interesting because these kinds of wins, they can have such a ripple effect.
Totally.
On the program itself, recruiting, morale.
Absolutely.
It kind of it lifts everyone up.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
On the women's side,
Yes.
we had another amazing game.
Incredible game.
UConn Huskies.
The Husk.
They defeated the South Carolina Gamecocks 82-59.
Dominant.
Yeah, that's a
Statement win.
Yeah. That's a big statement.
It is.
That's their 12th national championship,
Right.
first since 2016.
They're back.
They're back. UConn, just, legendary status.
Legendary.
In women's basketball. So we've covered a lot today. We've talked about potential economic headwinds. We have crypto market reactions.
The global trade.
Yeah.
To everything.
The mystery of Bitcoin.
The quest continues.
The quest continues, this booming growth in Web3 gaming.
So exciting.
And, of course, we wrapped it up with these thrilling finishes in college basketball.
Well, something for everyone.
Right. These aren't just isolated events, though, right?
No,
I mean,
no,
these
no.
things are all connected. It's a snapshot.
It's a snapshot.
Of how our world is working right now. And I think that's what makes it so fascinating to kind of...
To dive deep.
To uncover these connections. And so as you think about everything we've talked about, how might Dimon's predictions change your perspective on the market?
Yeah.
What would happen
Big question.
if Satoshi were revealed?
Yeah.
And how are things like Ronin and these Web3 gaming platforms, how are those changing your view of what blockchain can do?
What's possible?
Yeah, what's possible? These are the kinds of questions
Keep you up at night.
that keep us up at night, keep us thinking, keep us coming back.
Keep us diving deep.
Every week to do these deep dives. So thank you, as always, for listening.
Thanks for joining us.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.